All right. Welcome to Controversies of the Day with Logan.
And Jay.
Well, we had another debate, my friend. The third one. Holy cow. I don't know if third time is going to be the charm for anybody. I don't know, because Donald did his thing too, right? He had a rally somewhere in the neighborhood, basically.
Yeah, he was down in Florida somewhere doing his spiel.
Which is smart. You know, you distract away from these other people, and that way, you know, in case anybody were to catch on, which, if you believe the polls, I'm not a poll guy, by the way. But polls are going to come up a little bit here today. But he's way ahead, right?
What?
So
he's like 55% or
this is
the other people's.
This is a strange exercise we're going through in history and political history. But
yeah,
we're going through it, and it was fun. It was fun. If nothing else, you know, Vivek. Oh my God, Vivek like cake. Ramaswamy. Wow, he's a fun guy. We're going to say a lot of things about him, but let's go through some of the other ones. You know, Krispy Kreme, Chris Christie. I don't know what he's doing. Was he running for VP the whole time? Is he hoping? I don't know. He's embarrassing himself, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I think this will be the last time. I think he'll drop out for the night. Well, there's another one in December.
There's one more in December, and then of course going into the new year, we're going to have our primaries.
So I think he'll drop out, and that'll be it.
I mean, he said before he was going to hang in there and see how he did in New Hampshire. You know, he said that publicly, but at this point, if there's no major move in the pollsters, what are you doing, buddy?
Well, what considers a major move? 40%?
Yeah.
You're not getting it.
Yeah, I don't think so. And then Tim Scott, nice guy, interesting voice pattern. The way he gets real excited. Hey, let's really slow it down. It's really interesting. I don't know what he's been doing too. Definitely he's been running for VP. Trump's VP. I don't know, something. You know, he might be a good VP for Donald Trump. I personally think Donald Trump really needs to take a woman though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think. Well, Tim Scott, I think he'll drop out, and I think he'll back Haley.
Yeah.
So maybe if Haley were to get anywhere close to the ticket, maybe that'd be her VP choice. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because they both live from South Carolina. See, that's the only thing. Usually you want to take somebody from another faraway state, but who knows? Nowadays everything's just kind of different. It's different than it was in the old days. It really is. And Ron DeSantis was in his home state, in his backyard. He started off good, but some of that awkwardness kind of crept in again, didn't it? With Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, he just doesn't feel comfortable in his own skin.
I don't mind that, by the way, folks. Okay, but we know most people in the world are, they're in all the Hollywood. Let's face it. Let's be honest, right?
I feel that he's just maybe he doesn't want to go too far in what he says to grab that bigger MAGA crowd, which seems to be kind of the base of the Republicans. I don't think he wants to say too many things outlandish because he still has to deal with people in Florida. So in case he doesn't become president, he has to go back to his Floridians and maybe he doesn't want to upset them. I don't know. Maybe that's his problem.
You're right. He's holding back. He's holding back too much. Yeah.
Or again, he's just not comfortable with
maybe he's got
being in the limelight.
Maybe he's got stage fright. Maybe he's got some stage. I've heard his wife Casey, and she seems real comfortable in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. They make a very good-looking couple. I think Ron DeSantis is, like we were saying, it's probably not his time, but I think he's got big future.
Yeah,
I don't know. I really do. And I would say, like I said, if the primary was today, and for some reason it's like Donald Trump's not in the equation, it was Vivek, Nikki, and Ron DeSantis, I would probably vote for Ron. I would just say that. Right now, the passion is with Vivek, though. Oh my gosh, we're going to get into him. Before we do, let's talk a little bit about Nikki Haley. Oh my gosh, now Nikki, wow. I mean, she did a good job, I think, about abortion issue and Social Security. She's very honest for a politician, okay, about both those topics, and I appreciated that. I respected her what she was saying on both those topics. And it's very dangerous, Social Security. Don't you think? I mean, that's that third rail. Like, don't be messing with that. Old people, they vote.
Yeah, they need to kind of rip the Band-Aid off and just bring this stuff up. I think more people would be more accepting of hearing it. It's a real problem. Maybe it'd push some more younger people into that area, saying, "Hey, if these guys don't fix this, we're not going to have retirement." I mean, I don't know. It's a touchy subject, and I can understand why a lot of people don't talk about it. I think Haley's bigger problem is that she's a war hawk, and she definitely showed it off this time.
Ooh,
talking
yes.
about Ukraine money.
Oh man.
And she claims,
Oh, yeah.
and she yells out, "I don't care about the money. I care about the weapons and the ammunition." Holy hell! Right there, the woman's been on all kinds of boards, or she's deep within the whole military
Industrial complex.
Why didn't Vivek jump on that? That's the one disappointing thing.
He did a little. He did a little bit.
Yeah, but this would have been the time. The moment she said that, wow, look at that, right to the money. It is about money. It's
oh god. Oh yeah. I know. She's a big part of that Republican problem that has been going on for a very, very long time, and Democrats too, but especially a lot of warhawk Republicans. I mean, it's like for years, I listen to these people. Grover Norquist is one of the big, cut taxes. Hey, nobody likes taxes, right? But hey, you're going to have this gigantic military, and at some point you're going to have to raise taxes. And then we borrow from countries that we now are looking at almost like our enemy, like China. I mean, the world is insane, folks. The world is nuts. We have all kinds of foreign countries buy our debt. And yet we keep running up the debt. So we're not in a place of strength right now. We're really not. And Vivek called that out too. Not just there were some regional elections. Mm-hmm. I think it was more specific about being a loser, about he's sick of losing, and that was some good stuff there. And he was really catering to the MAGA crowd a lot. I think so.
Which he's going to have to.
He's going to have to, and he went for it. Give him a lot of credit.
If Trump wasn't a part of this equation, I honestly think it'd be between him and Haley. And that's the scary thing is that Haley. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe with Trump, is this the last debate they'll have, as far as just the Republican side?
Well, I think there's supposed to be one more Republican debate in December.
Yeah,
so Trump could show up to that. And I'm thinking, like we were saying, I think Christie and Scott probably should be off the stage. It's probably just going to be Vivek, Nikki, and Ron. And if the Donald were to show up, unless somebody else were to get in, but they'd have to be polling, high too. So
as we're thinking about it here, I think it'd be the top three. It'd be Trump and the next two in the polls. I think it's either going to be DeSantis or Haley will drop out. Probably be DeSantis.
So you think Trump's just going to stay away from them and not have any debates with them, anybody on the Republican side?
I mean, there's a good chance he might not show up to the last one, which, again, if his polling numbers are doing as good as they say, he doesn't have nothing to worry about. It really is. He's getting all this free publicity with the court stuff.
Yeah.
He's still doing rallies there, here and there. So, he's getting out to where he needs to get to.
Yeah, we're living in different times. A lot of the old ways of doing things and thinking about things, I think have just kind of shattered a little bit. I mean, I'm still an old school kind of guy. Don't get me wrong, and I think of things in the old school way. But yeah, it's a little bit of a different world these days. Oh, sure. Yeah, And so yeah, Nikki, I respect her when she talked about abortion and when she talked about Social Security. I thought, especially Social Security, she's gonna be very careful with that. But she handled it well. But like you said, oh my gosh, she is a warmonger, folks. Wowie. This is war. What is it good for, Logan? Absolutely nothing. But she just felt like rah, war. Like, oh boy, oh. And then my mind goes to the fourth turning. But anyway, but Vivek, oh wow, I know you didn't see all of it. He's gonna have you cracking up, man. I mean, I was pumping my fist in the air. I actually got up at one point. I had a couple of cervezas. I admit it. I got up from the recliner, and I wasn't going to hit my TV. I don't know what I was going to do, but I got close to the TV, and more than once, it took me back to Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes a few years ago. You remember that? I was having that much fun, and so thank you, Vivek. That was great. That was great stuff. So let me go through some of the things that he did. God, it was so funny. So first of all, earlier in the day, I'm doing some laundry and I'm listening to Charlie Kirk, of all people. I don't really listen to Charlie Kirk a whole lot, but you're familiar with him, right? Okay, yeah, you're probably more familiar with him than I am. Anyway, I was listening to a show on an afternoon program out of Chicago, and he's saying how he texted something to Vivek Ramaswamy, and I'm sure guess they know each other. Something like, hey, Vivek, you should be the chairman of the RNC, Republican National Committee. And then Vivek just texts him something back, hey man, I'm running for president. But then later that evening, all of a sudden, Vivek, he went after, her name was, I think, Ronna McDaniel, and she is the chairperson of the RNC. And he was mad at her about the recent losses that Republicans have gone through in Kentucky, Ohio, and some other ones too. And he ripping on her about the fact that the two of the moderators there at NBC were Lester Holt and Kristen somebody or another. And Hugh Hewitt was the other one. So he's a Republican conservative-ish radio host. So he made some sense. It could have done better than him, though. But anyway, and oh my God! And so he said to her, he said, "Hey, well, if Ronna wants to come out here, because she actually did do like a little pre-show thing on the streaming service that I was watching. She actually came out there and talked a little bit before the debate started. And he said she wants to come out here and just resign tonight." And I was like, "Oh my God, this guy is great. This woman's probably in the back crying or something." It was a beautiful moment. And then he starts ripping on this Kristen, who works for NBC. She's the new hostess of Meet the Press on Sundays. See, Kristen, I'm being nice, giving you a little plug here. And he was ripping on her about the whole Russian collusion thing and the whole allegation of the 2016 camp. And oh my God. And then he goes, so was that real? Or did you guys make all that up? And he goes, okay, answer, go. And then she just sits there and smirks, man. Oh God. Oh man, it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. Maybe it's all political theater, folks, but man, it was cool. It was a cool moment. You gotta watch that moment again. And then him and Nikki just were going back and forth, and he called Nikki Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels, and then she fires something back about her heels can hold bullets or something. Man, they were all just trying to be real quick with each other. It was a good time. I don't know. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. You got to check it out. You got to make sure you see the whole thing, dude.
I'm watching most of it. Calm down.
Yeah.
I'm not thrilled by her. I could care less about her.
No, the exchange though.
I don't
fun. Oh God, it's beautiful.
This is really bad. Neither one of them are going to be nominated for president.
Well, we'll see. I may put some money on some Vegas betting sites on Nikki. I just got this. I got this sickening feeling inside.
She's not going to get
that close. She's going to go there. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with the Donald. I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks he's not even really running. This is all a show. Maybe he's going to siphon campaign funds. Maybe he just wants to be the kingmaker. I mean, if you're him for a second, you're not going to live forever. What are you doing? I mean, you've been all through all that crap that they put you through. I mean, unless he really cares, I know his supporters believe that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just have a feeling that the Donald is not going to be there next fall. Whoever's there. You know what I mean? And we both agree Joe Biden's not going to be there, which Vivek also brought up, believe it or not. Yes, he said, I want to call the Democrats because Joe Biden's not really running. And yeah, it was a beautiful thing. So let's just segue right into that, by the way. So a couple weeks ago, or no, maybe it was just a week ago, did you see that David Axelrod, you Democrats, this is the guy who got Obama and Biden elected in 2008. And he came on TV show and he was looking at some polls. Again, I'm not a big I don't trust polls, okay? But these polls were all looking bad, to your point, looking good for the Donald, okay? This is going your way. And he, Axelrod was trying to be really nice and say, well, Joe, just maybe you really should think about it. And, maybe you should run and maybe you shouldn't. He's trying to be as gentle as possible with the idea that Joe Biden, is going to be running here now. And it seems very feeble. He doesn't seem to be with it. And, I mean, how is he going to look on a debate stage against Trump? Or Nikki Haley, or whomever. I mean, it's going to be a sad state of affairs.
Oh, he's not going to run.
So, and I'm with you there. I
don't.
And I think a lot of people are thinking that, and we see Gavin Newsom position himself very well, as you said, Mr. Photogenic, good-looking dude. He's even making trips to China, talking to Xi Jinping, and anyway. And then, so Vivek brought up Gavin Newsom's name, and he brought up Michelle Obama's name. right there on national TV. I loved it. You know, what we heard months ago was
I don't
Alex.
get why people mention her name. That just, if anything, annoys the shit out of me. She is not a politician. She was the first lady. What merit does she have to be able to be a president?
I'm with you.
You guys want to shit on Donald Trump
with
with no experience, but yet you're willing to even think that this woman.
But think about it. That's the Democrat mindset.
It makes no sense.
That's their. If the Democrats didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards. You know, they.
It's like that shit we just watched Hillary with that on the View.
Yeah.
Talk about how Trump wants to be like a Nazi. How they voted him in, but then he's gonna take it away so he can be in power. Throwing his political opponents in jail. What the hell are you guys doing right now? January 6th.
Yeah,
I mean, that should be a huge thing. And you have no problem with that. The hypocrisy it blows my mind. It blows my mind that more people don't see it. It's right there. It's right there in front of you guys. Come on, be angry, be pissed off about this. Want change, want better. It doesn't have to go left or right. Better. Exactly. And no matter what side you're on, anything you believe in could be better, and no one's willing to fight for that better. So that's just the same junk over and over, just like the same junk over and over. Even Vivek, I'm sorry, he's just a Trump. He's another Trump. Trump said all the same type of stuff, stirred the pot with everybody else. Yeah. He's not special. He's regurgitated. So it's the same group of people on the stage that we've seen for decades. There's no change. People need to see this. I think people are just lazy. It's an inconvenience, and because it's an inconvenience, no one wants to change. It's laziness.
Well, I agree with you, and unfortunately, though, with things like inflation and maybe a big economic downturn coming next year, that might wake a lot of people up, especially if they lose their jobs and
really. We just went through 2 years of COVID, and no one gave a shit. They just sat there and expected to collect a check, drink their beer, and smoke their pot. That's what we did for 2 years, and we wonder why we got mental problems with people today, or this laziness, or this comical debate stage. It's just it's like very pulp culture. It's not really political culture.
I mean, they did get into the issues somewhat, but yeah, it's definitely
all these issues though, or anything they brought up is something that's in major pulp culture now. Where if you turn on Facebook, you turn on TikTok, you're going to see somebody on in your aisle, saying this echo chamber, I think they call it. That's all it is. So it's crap. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Well,
like the fourth turning stuff, I think it's almost necessary to turn this weak country back into a stronger version of itself. It seems to be what happens every time we would have this cycle of war, and unfortunately, we might be getting pushed toward that anyways. But if it does happen, we better.
We hope not.
No.
These are two guys for peace. Just want to be clear. Okay, you give peace a chance, huh?
But change needs to happen. It needs to happen. We're going to have a major problem here in a few years.
It absolutely does. And our closing little thing today, and unfortunately we're not going to really end on a high note, but, in this whole struggle with Israel and the Palestinians and the Gaza Strip and the violence and everything that's going on there, it's going on right now as we speak. I mean, then we have, like you said, Brandon Johnson. We have these city council people and mayors, and they all got I'm like, hey, you got your own problems. Fix those problems. And the college campuses. What's going on, Logan? Gee, I thought it was all those alt-right people were full of hate. Oh, but there's a faction on the left here taking the mask off. You're full of hate too, some of you people.
I think it's just they're doubling down because they're seeing that they're going to start losing their members to their little cult, the left. I mean,
yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. I think they're really pushing for this, and it's not going to. They're doing it now because, at least interviews I've seen, or even at the debate, we're not going to let this happen. That's what they were saying. You can do this on college camp. We're going to pull funding, and anyone with a visa for another country is doing this stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You're out of here. So I think that's a good message to have, but at the same time, it's going to start. I think this bubble, this college student loan bubble, I think this is going to be the ending of this kind of weird polarization here with this conflict. I think this is what's going to pop that bubble. I think it's going to come down to where the elections are going to happen. I'm imagining we're still going to be these conflicts that we have between Ukraine and Russia and Israel and in the Middle East. I think these are going to happen for a couple years. I mean, we've never had a conflict just and like that, especially when we're so highly motivated to help or finance rather. So I think this is going to last for a long time, a number of years, and I think it's just going to, again, a little powder keg. Well, so the point being is that we're going to get a Republican in there, ideally, and they're going to pull that type of funding from the schools that's kind of making these kids, these students into these cult members, and they're going to decide, hey, we want our money now, and they're going to force it. I just see a big snowball of shit gonna pile down here. It's gonna happen.
I'm very worried about it. I like to come on here and laugh and have fun, folks. Be goofy, that's what I like to do. But yeah, no, these are concerning times, and if somebody's finding this alarmist, you think we're just trying to get attention. I hope you're right. I hope everybody needs to think about some of the issues we be bringing up here, and I hope if you don't believe us, that's fine. We're just a couple regular Joe Schmoes. Do a little research on some of this stuff. And then pay attention to the news, and you start connecting some dots here. I'm very worried. I really am.
Something's going. What happens? When happens? It's a question of when, I guess, and it's going to happen. Who knows what will pop it off? It could be something we've never even talked about yet.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen. I think this, again, your fourth turning. I think it's
Neil Howe's fourth turning. Maybe we'll get Neil on the show. We'll get the producers. We got to get you on our program, Mr. Howe. He's not my uncle. I'm not pushing this stuff just for the heck of it. Like I said, I heard about it years ago, and then when 2020 hit, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then a lot of people also started having him on different programs and stuff. Anyway, we shall see, folks. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and please hit the subscribe button. Please tell a friend, too. Let them know. There's a couple wacky guys that got some views about things going on in the news and on our crazy world, and anyway, folks, let's hope some things get better, and maybe the fires will be put out a little bit. You give peace a chance. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. Take care. Well, I know we went pretty long.